We got news to what happened between Colby and Jorge, where Colby was at dinner with the Nelk boys eating, and allegedly Jorge found Colby outside and started to swing at him, try to go after him. Out of Colby's words, he said he went to the back room, and according to the reports, Jorge hit Colby twice and now is being charged with a felony battery. But Colby's a bit surprised that Jorge knew where he was. There were some videos with Colby in the place, and that potentially showed Jorge where he was. Maybe Jorge was in the proximity, he was in the area, and decided to approach Colby Covington because after their fight, Jorge did say that this is not over, and he meant it. And later, Jorge made a video saying to Colby, when you talk, you gotta back it up. I mean, didn't he already back it up? They fought each other for 25 minutes, and Jorge unfortunately lost the fight. It just seems very unprofessional. It's a bad look on the sport, it's a bad look on Jorge's image, and at the same time, him doing this could potentially have an opposite effect of what he wanted. People might feel some sympathy for Colby now. They know that he can fight. They know he fought Jorge and beat him, so it's not that he's a coward or he can't fight or something. They know that Colby's trying to keep things professional outside of the sport. He doesn't get into fights unless he's getting paid to do it. He doesn't fight for free. That's a professional way of looking at it. On Jorge's part, there's a personal reason, and everybody could kind of understand it. I mean, the thing said to him was very personal. They knew each other for a long time, so it probably hit a little different than if anybody else were to say those same things. But at the end of the day, the way a lot of people are looking at it is, one man said some mean words and the other guy got triggered by it and wants to go and physically fight him. In many martial arts, I was taught this as well, never let someone control your actions. This is why you see a lot of the top martial artists in the world. No matter what you say to them, they will never physically act because they'll never let you have some kind of control over them. Never fight unless it's for a right cause. Defend yourself, defend your family, defend your friends, defend someone who is in need. Those are the only times you should ever fight. And people are going to say, but Colby was talking about Jorge's family. He wasn't attacking any of them. He didn't put his hands on any of them. And number two, he wasn't even really talking trash about Jorge's family. At least that's what it seemed like. From what I remember, Colby didn't really insult Jorge's family. He more so targeted Jorge and insulted him as what he said, he's a deadbeat dad, he was bad to his wife, he has some child support, he doesn't get along with his mom. He said a bunch of things about Jorge. I don't know if they're true or not, it's not my place to know, but that's what Colby was saying. I don't remember him ever directly insulting Jorge's kids or wife. So what is Jorge defending? He's not defending any of their honor. It looks like he's only defending his own ego. And here's the thing, man, I don't agree with Colby. I don't agree saying this stuff. I don't agree going personal with someone. Even if you know them personally, you don't like them. I would never take that kind of road. So as much as I don't agree with Jorge doing what he did, I also do not agree with what Colby said. There's a lot of takes I have on this, and there seems to be a lot of people also disagreeing. We have a few camps here. On one hand, we have people saying that what Jorge did was terrible. It was unprofessional. It was stupid. It made him look weak. They're saying the only way Jorge can win now is by sucker punching Colby. He's in his feelings, his ego is hurt, and he's letting words get to him. There's another camp saying what Jorge did was understandable, but it wasn't the right thing. He's not that guy from the streets anymore. He has a lot of responsibility and should try to keep things more professional. And then we got people saying that what Jorge did was right. It was justified. He should have done it. Colby should not be talking about Jorge's family at all. And he got what came to him. Seems like everybody is inside one of these camps here. Now, what I personally believe is, it's stupid, man. It's just dumb. I can understand what Jorge did because he said that it's not over. So Colby would have to expect if he ever sees Jorge, they might just get into a fight. How long will that last? Will it be until their 50s and Jorge's still trying to do something? That's how foolish this whole thing looks to me. Because if he's just doing it this one time, that just shows that his ego's hurt. He's feeling some kind of way from the fight and the words that Colby had for him. Not everybody's gonna respond to words the same way. For an example, I can only speak for myself. No matter the words, I can't really get physical because of them. I could never act in a way if someone even insulted my family or my people or whoever. I've had so many people say so many egregious things to me, and I never had the feeling to get physical with them. I never really got triggered by it at all, no matter how bad what they're saying is. And I know some people here are the same way, but you cannot have the perspective on everybody. Everybody's gonna react to this differently. You insult Jorge, he might just fight you. I see some people saying that, well, Colby was saying things about his family. This is something I think a lot of people are getting wrong. I don't remember him ever insulting his kids, which is something everybody's saying, oh, Colby insulted Jorge's kids. You can't talk about someone's kids. I don't think he ever directly insulted his kids. I think he only said that Jorge was a deadbeat dad. That's not insulting the kids, that's insulting Jorge as a father. I can't agree or disagree with it because I don't really know about it, but that's what Colby was saying. I don't think he ever insulted his wife. I don't think he ever insulted his sister or any of them. I could be wrong on that, but off of what I remember, I don't think Colby ever insulted any of these people. And that's what it looks like to me. it looks like Colby insulted Jorge, and Jorge felt some way about it. He got in his feelings and wanted to go and fight Colby Covington over it. And that, I know, can change a lot of people's perspectives on this, because I've been talking with some people about this, and it all comes down to you can't talk about someone's kids. Well, it doesn't look like he actually talked about Jorge's kids, and that seems to be spun around. And if it's not about the kids, then what is it about? That's why it looks like to a lot of people that Jorge just got emotional about it. Maybe what Colby said to him got into his head, and perhaps how the fight went down. He badly lost the fight to Colby, the guy he hates, and he probably can't live with that. So he has to get at Colby another way. We still don't know if he tried to sucker punch him. We still don't know if he came there with people and they tried to jump Colby. We don't know any of this yet. But man, in my opinion, it does look kind of weak. Unless you're meeting the man one-on-one, even that, it's like, okay, you two already fought each other. When is the beef squashed? Does it ever get squashed? Does this go to their last days? Will this never end, literally never end? Because back in the day when men fought, that would squash the beef no matter what they have between each other. If they went at it one-on-one, no matter who won, who lost, everything gets squashed. That's how it used to be. And Jorge's an older guy. He's like 40 years old almost. He should know this code. He does praise his own sucker punching ability. He actually says that a good sucker puncher is praised in his hood. So perhaps he didn't live by that kind of code. And that's why he's going at Colby the same way he used to back in the day for anybody that would disrespect him. But at the same time, he's not that 20-year-old kid anymore. He's not a kid in high school anymore. I'm pretty sure he doesn't live in the same hood anymore. I mean, these guys are rich now, living in million-dollar homes with butlers and valets, and like, this is not that same lifestyle anymore. At a certain point, when do you grow out of it? But then I got some people telling me, well, real men don't talk about someone's kids and wife. Well, a couple things there. I don't know if Colby's a real man or not. I don't know how he is in person. I know how he is as a character promoting a fight on a professional scene. Would he say that in real life to Jorge? I doubt it. I could be wrong, but I don't think he would ever say that to Jorge. And number two, again, I don't remember him ever talking about Jorge's kids and wife in a bad light. If anything, he praised his wife for letting them both live in her home. He said that wasn't your home we lived in, that was your wife's home. Again, he was disrespecting Jorge on his roles in his life. I don't agree with that. I don't like that, but that's what Colby was saying. I still don't agree with Colby saying that, but it does not warrant getting into a fight over it. And now here's the point where it shows that people are just a little too hateful of Colby and not looking at this in a logical perspective. They're starting now to bring Cane's situation and saying, look what happened with Jorge and look what happened with Cane. It's comparable. Those are not comparable, besides the fact that they both reacted in a way where they felt their kids were disrespected. Jorge was responding to some mean words some guy said, and ultimately he didn't go as far. He went to try to punch him. Cane's kid got M'd 100 times. This is not the same. No words. It wasn't like someone said he was going to do it. Someone did that, and he responded. I don't agree with either of their responses, but Cane's is way more understandable. Way more understandable. It's a whole different thing when that happens. These days, too many people are intertwining words with action. People are literally looking at words having the same kind of impact now than a physical act. I insult you is the same way as me kicking you in the face. That's how too many people today are seeing it. It's a completely tone-deaf argument. And then you see a lot of people talking about, what about Dustin and Colby? Colby was making fun of Dustin's family. Yeah, but this has nothing to do with Jorge. He directly insulted Dustin's wife, I believe. And he said that he uses his kid as a prop. That's something else. If we see Dustin one day roll up on Colby and try to fight him, that's a different situation because number one, they never fought each other. And number two, I think what Colby said to Dustin is worse than what he said to Jorge. Completely different situation. It's just a lot of people are trying to get one on Colby. I don't agree with anything Colby said. 100% do not agree with it. But at the same time, you do have to look at it as what it is. And just for fun, a lot of people are trying to debate me on who would win in a street fight. You know, Jorge is actually from the street. He's actually experienced this kind of thing his whole life. He grew up street fighting and we all watched it. So therefore, he was going to get at Colby in his own world and beat him there. I honestly would favor Colby in a street fight even more than favoring him in the octagon. Because in a street fight, given Colby's skills and without a ref, without officiating, without breaking up, without rounds, that's a tougher fight for Jorge in my opinion. Because number one, takedowns on concrete, on a curb, against the wall, these are way more dangerous. If Colby elevates Jorge at any given time using a takedown, that fight could be over right there. Head bounces off the concrete, that's one of the fastest ways to get a knockout on your opponent. Number two, he gets Jorge to the ground, which he would eventually be able to do for sure. Now he has headbutts he can use. He can stack up and try to stomp, especially if he gets Jorge up against a curb or against the wall. And with the ground and pound shots, Jorge's head is going to be bouncing off the concrete. Even though Colby is not the most powerful guy, you bring together the environment, the hard ground, the walls, and everything. When Colby hits Jorge, it's going to be a much bigger impact. If Jorge gets taken to the ground, there's no ref to stand them up, and there's no rounds for Jorge to reset. And we all know who has the better cardio, who can go for much longer. Even if they fight each other for 45 minutes. Eventually, Colby will win. I think just a lot of people can't fathom that a guy who was from the streets, who actually lived that life, will lose a street fight to a college kid. I think that's the part that a lot of people cannot fathom.